But first, as you've just heard, temperatures this week could break all records, and as the heat wave continues, extraordinary demand is being placed on our region's water supply.
Yes, Wessex Water has seen a 20% increase in demand and is using the latest technology to get water to the areas where it's most needed. Ellie Louise Ringe has been behind the scenes at the control centre as she takes a look at how the West Country is coping.
Well, I'm here at what is essentially the nerve centre of the operation here at Wessex Water, and the people behind me are responsible for moving the water around the region according to where demand is highest. Now, in a moment, we'll take a look at just how this technology is being used to get the water to exactly where it's needed. But first, Bob Cruz has been behind the scenes at Wimbleball Reservoir on Exmoor to see how our reserves are faring in the dry weather.
It's 40 years since this reservoir started supplying water to homes in the southwest. The concrete dam at the bottom of the valley holds back more than 21,000 million litres when the lake is full. Wimbleball is a popular spot for visitors, but not many people get the chance to see behind the scenes, to go inside the dam and see how it all works.
I know they're all a bit different, so personally this is like the biggest one that I look after.
Jess Kohler is an apprentice engineer, just coming to the end of the third year of her apprenticeship here.
The regular visit I do is a Monday morning, and I'll come here first thing on a Monday and complete all my regular weekly checks, and then any other time in the week where I need to come and do anything sort of out of the norm, but there's different tasks that need to be done at different times.
One of the main tasks is to make sure the right amount of water is being drawn off and released at any given time.
Wow, that needs a good kick.
It certainly does. There's a knack to it.
At the base of the dam, hard hats are compulsory, just in case anything should fall from above.
So here we can see the valve, so what we call the outlet, so we can release into the river, as you can see here.
How much water have you got coming out of here at the moment?
It's about 450 litres a second.
Right.
What you can see here is the compensation release, which is something we have to release all year round to keep the flow in the river.
And that comes down from the top?
It is at the moment, because personally I just think it looks a bit prettier to have water flowing over the steps. But we can use these ones here, so we've actually got 3 options for that.
But the great thing about this is on a sunny day you've almost always got a rainbow here at the bottom of the dam.
It's nice, isn't it? It's lovely. If you're having a bad day, you come out and see that.
Wimbleball is shared by 2 water companies as it lies on the border between them. South West Water covers Devon and Cornwall, everything to the west of a line from Exmoor to Lyme Regis. The area to the east of that line, parts of Somerset, Dorset and Wiltshire, is covered by Wessex Water. They can draw water off into the tower at the top, middle or bottom of the reservoir, depending on the water quality at each depth, which can vary.
What are we looking at below us here?
Okay, so this is the top draw-off level, the bit sort of coming in through from the wall, which comes from the top of the reservoir, and the pipe going straight down is the draw-off pipe.
You're probably used to it, but it's quite disconcerting standing here and you can see 50 metres below your feet, just a tower dropping away.
Lots of people say that, I just don't really think about it now. I'm like, oh, I think it's because I've been down there, I know what's down there, it doesn't really concern me, but...
But what's down there is 50 metres below you though.
Yeah, I know.
These are pretty strong, right?
Yeah, they're all right. This is a concrete beam.
The landscape around Wimbleball is stunning, but when you work in a place like this, you do start to take the view for granted.
I feel bad, but I just sort of forget how lucky I am. I do joke around. I'm like, oh, off to the office or in the morning, and I'm just coming up here and I'm like, I feel like I'm winning.
The brown fields around the lake are a good indicator of how dry it's been this summer, but there's still plenty of water here. It's almost 80% full. Bob Cruz, ITV News, Wimbleball.
Now, it is 40 years since Wimbleball Reservoir on Exmoor started providing water to households here in the southwest.
Well, before it was built, dry weather like we're having at the moment might well have meant hose pipe bans, but thankfully there are now fewer of those restrictions, as Bob Cruz reports.
Wimbleball Lake has been a feature of the Exmoor landscape for 4 decades. It's 50 metres deep, and when it's full, the reservoir holds more than 21,000 megalitres of water. But before the valley was flooded, this was quite a different view. Photographs from the early 1970s show how the land was used for farming. Trees blossomed in the valley, and the River Hadio, which feeds the reservoir, was little more than a stream winding through the woodland. On the spot where that photo was taken, construction work began on the dam in 1974. Foundations for the buttresses were built 60 metres wide. A total of 184,000 cubic metres of concrete was used. And, of course, it made news headlines at the time.
This whole massive project is a monument to the efforts being made to ensure that never again is the West Country threatened by the spectre of drought and standpipes.
The people at the time looked ahead and saw increases in population growth and were looking to make sure that we got enough water, for our customers in the long term. We actually haven't had a hose pipe ban for the last 22 years, and one of the reasons is these big reservoirs, are there to give strategic storage for all of our customers during dry periods like we see at the moment.
When the local landscape is changed to this degree, it doesn't happen without some opposition, though. This house, Steert Cottage, was demolished, trees were felled, and the residents of nearby villages were against the project. Keith Routledge has been researching local history for a book he's writing.
People didn't want it. They don't like change, but at the same time, change was being imposed on them. Their way of life that they were used to was being forcibly changed, I suppose, is the way they saw it. But people have learned to accept it, and I think it's a very good facility. You can still walk around the lake, and you can still enjoy the scenery, and you can see other people coming down and enjoying it as well.
Today the lake is a popular spot for leisure, water sports and camping, and brings money into the local area. But it's inside the boundaries of Exmoor, and the surrounding woodlands and meadows are managed to allow wildlife to thrive.
As you can imagine, we have a lot of visitors over the summer months, and that can pose a bit of a challenge, but also it's really exciting because it means that there's a lot of people that we're able to engage with and get them passionate about the environment as much as we are.
It's a good place for people to relax and kind of take a bit of a rest break from the Monday to Friday jobs to kind of connect back with nature and enjoy the activities we've got here on the water.
If the dry summer we're having continues the way it started, the water being held in this reservoir will become even more important to ensure a constant supply to people's homes in the southwest. Bob Cruz, ITV News, Wimbleball.